Good morning, and welcome to your AI Daily Press morning podcast for September 19, 2025. We're summarizing the top stories for you today. Firstly, President Trump's state visit to the UK has concluded with few diplomatic breakthroughs, despite discussions on key issues like Russia, Palestine, and free speech. The two nations have reaffirmed their special relationship, but differences on certain topics remain. In economic news, the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates for the second time this year, sending stocks soaring to record highs. The tech sector is particularly buoyant, with companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet making significant gains. A major partnership between NVIDIA and Intel to co-design chips for the AI industry is also seen as a boost to the UK's tech sector. Meanwhile, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues, with President Trump expressing disappointment with Russian President Putin's response to diplomatic efforts. The international community remains vigilant, calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Lastly, shutdown negotiations in Washington remain stalled, with Democrats and Republicans dug in on key issues like healthcare. Investors are keeping a close eye on developments, concerned about the potential impact on the economy if a deal is not reached before the end of the month. That's your morning summary from AI Daily Press. We'll continue to bring you updates throughout the day. And now, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm Walter, and this is AI Daily Press. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and then shall and know it's right now. Firstly, we have breaking news on the diplomatic front, where a group of Senate Democrats has introduced a resolution urging the U.S. government to recognize a demilitarized Palestinian state alongside a secure state of Israel. This move reflects growing pressure on Israel over its military actions in Gaza and could potentially shift the dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In related news, we're also following the situation in southern Lebanon, where Israeli airstrikes have targeted positions of the Iranian-backed armed group Hezbollah. The attacks come after evacuation warnings were issued for several locations in the area, and the Lebanese Prime Minister has called on the international community to intervene. Lastly, we're tracking a significant development in U.S. diplomacy as Syria's President Bashar al-Assad is set to visit Russia to meet with President Vladimir Putin. This meeting could have major implications for the ongoing conflict in Syria and the broader Middle East region. We'll be diving deeper into these stories throughout the day, providing context, analysis, and updates as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us on this morning's edition of the AI Daily Press. I'm Barbara, and we'll see you again soon. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm your host, Louis. We're starting the day with a quick rundown of the latest developments in the financial world. First off, the U.S. Federal Reserve's recent decision to cut interest rates by 25 basis points has sent ripples across global markets. While this move is expected to weaken the U.S. dollar and potentially redirect foreign investment towards emerging markets like India, experts are cautious about the prospects of a significant influx of foreign capital into Indian stocks due to rich valuations. In other news, we're keeping an eye on Meta Platforms Inc., which seems to be on the cusp of a potential bull run driven by robust AI-powered ad growth, margin expansion, and new product innovation. However, antitrust concerns and regulatory hurdles are risks that investors should be aware of. And finally, in our previous editions, we've been discussing the implications of the U.S. Federal Reserve's rate cut on emerging markets, including India. While some investment advisors believe that the slowing pace of foreign selling in Indian equities could be a sign of a gradual revival in inflows, others are more cautious due to the high valuations of Indian stocks. That's all for now. We'll continue to monitor these developments and provide you with timely updates and insights throughout the day. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and happy investing. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the author and do not constitute investment advice. Investors should conduct their own research and consult with financial experts before making any decisions. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, NASA's upcoming mission to the moon is gaining momentum with the development of the Space Launch System rocket. Engineers have successfully addressed the issue of vibrations caused by airflow during ascent by adding 6-foot-long strakes to the core stage of the SLS rocket. This innovative solution was made possible through cutting-edge technology and collaboration between researchers. Secondly, we explored the wonders of the Milky Way galaxy with stunning visuals and fascinating facts about our place in the universe. As we continue to explore the cosmos, we're reminded of the importance of space exploration and scientific inquiry in expanding our understanding of the universe and inspiring future generations. Lastly, NASA's Artemis program is making headlines with its ambitious plans to return humans to the lunar surface and eventually send them to Mars. With the help of supercomputing and advanced simulation tools, researchers are working tirelessly to overcome complex challenges and push the boundaries of human knowledge and achievement. These stories demonstrate the power of science and technology to transform our world and inspire us to reach for the stars. Join us every morning on the AI Daily Press podcast as we delve into the latest news and discoveries in the world of science, technology, and space exploration. Stay curious, keep exploring, and we'll see you next time. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. I'm your host, Howard. Today, we're recapping the latest developments in college sports. First off, we've got Creighton University's ambitious Fly Togethers project, a massive investment aimed at catapulting their athletic program into the big leagues. But will it pay off? Or is it just another costly attempt to keep pace with the powerhouses of collegiate athletics? We're keeping a close eye on this one. In college football, our expert analysis has got you covered for this weekend's top matchups, from Auburn versus Indiana to Michigan State versus Dye, USC and Michigan versus Nebraska. We've run the simulations, and the results are intriguing. And don't miss out on the in-state rivalry between Oregon and Oregon State. It's shaping up to be a real barn burner. And finally, in college volleyball, the University of Kentucky took down the University of Louisville in an electrifying matchup at the KFC Yum Center. This intense rivalry is gaining momentum, with both programs consistently ranking among the top in the nation. The impact extends beyond the court too, with a significant increase in volleyball participation among girls in Kentucky. That's all for today, folks. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we featured the vibrant culture of the Latin American community with 2 inspiring stories. We met the Escaramuzas, a group of young women who are preserving their Mexican heritage through the traditional sport of escaramuza, and we also explored the significance of Hispanic Heritage Month, highlighting the contributions and achievements of individuals like the Escaramuzas. Secondly, we celebrated the rich cultural traditions of the Latin American community by attending a festive celebration where we discovered the beauty of traditional music, dance, and food. Lastly, we traveled to the wild coast of South Africa, where local communities are fighting to protect their way of life and the environment from oil exploration. The case has made its way to the country's highest court, with far-reaching implications for environmental activism in South Africa. These stories remind us of the importance of preserving our cultural heritage, respecting indigenous rights, and protecting our natural environment. That's all for today's briefing. Thank you for joining me on this journey around the world. Until next time, I'm Charles, and I bid you a wonderful day. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I'm your host, Joan. Today we're catching up on some exciting news from the worlds of fashion and beauty. First up, Nordstrom's fall savings event is still going strong, offering customers up to 25% off luxury beauty products from top brands like La Mer, Clinique, and Byredo. If you haven't already, be sure to check it out before the sale ends on Wednesday. In other news, Anna Wintour, the iconic chief content officer of Condé Nast, has been making headlines with her recent meetings at the White House. While details are scarce, we do know that fashion and politics were on the agenda. And, in a fun twist, there's no word on a Vogue cover for any member of the Trump family yet. Last but not least, get ready for some serious nostalgia. Production is underway on the sequel to The Devil Wears Prada, with Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci all set to reprise their iconic roles. Anna Wintour, the inspiration behind Miranda Priestly, is thrilled about the project and its potential to showcase fashion's enduring influence on popular culture. That's all for now, folks. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. I'm your host, David. We have a thrilling trio of stories to share with you today. Firstly, we're highlighting the alarming trend of exotic pet ownership and its devastating impact on wildlife conservation. Our article exposes the dark truth behind the exotic pet trade, where animals are being taken from their natural habitats and sold to unsuspecting buyers, often with disastrous consequences. We urge our listeners to think twice before bringing home that unusual pet. Next, we're celebrating a major victory for conservation efforts in the Amazon rainforest. The establishment of the Medio Putumayo Algodon Regional Conservation Area is a groundbreaking achievement, recognizing the rights and interests of indigenous communities while protecting the region's rich biodiversity. This collaboration between governments, conservation organizations, and local communities sets a shining example for responsible stewardship of our planet's natural heritage. Lastly, we're taking you on a journey back in time to the Cretaceous period, 1 and 12 million years ago, where scientists have made an extraordinary discovery in the Amazon basin. Hundreds of fragments of amber containing ancient insects, pollen, and tree leaves are providing a fascinating glimpse into life on Earth during the era of the dinosaurs. This remarkable find is shedding light on the evolving interactions between flowering plants and insects, offering valuable insights into the evolution of our planet's biodiversity. That's all for today's morning podcast. Thank you for joining us on this journey through conservation, wildlife, and paleontology. We'll be back with more exciting stories tomorrow. Until then, goodbye. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David at Nature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.